Everyone keeps telling you not to become a software engineer in 2026. The job market's brutal, AI is eating the jobs, the entry-level door is basically closed. And yes, for sure, some of that is true. But becoming a software engineer in 2026 is still possible, except you can't just follow the old roadmap. So based on everything I've learned throughout my own software engineering career and from seeing what companies actually look for in candidates, I'll show you exactly what I would do if I had to start from zero today. Hi friends, I'm Maddie. I'm a senior software engineer who previously worked at Google and before that interned at Amazon, IBM, and Microsoft. So I've been on both sides of this. I've sat in the interviews trying to get in, and I've sat on the other side helping decide who gets hired. And I am not going to sugarcoat this situation. This is probably the hardest market for new engineers in many years. Entry-level postings are way down, and a lot of the people you're competing with already have degrees and experiences. But here's the thing, the market didn't shrink, instead it split. So what I mean by this is that there are more software jobs posted this year than there have been in a while. They just want something different now than they did even 2 years ago. So that's what this video is about. I'm walking you through the exact 5 stages I go through if I were starting from zero today, in order, with what's actually working right now and what is no longer working. And definitely stick around for at least stage 3 because that's where almost everyone gets stuck and it has nothing to do with how good your code is. All right, let's get into it. So let me actually explain what happened to the market, since in order to make informed decisions, you should know this. The market didn't disappear, instead it split. While entry-level openings shrank, AI engineering listings at big companies grew 50 to 100% year over year, and overall software postings are actually up around 30% in 2026 compared to the last few years. So we're in this weird situation where there are record layoffs and a hiring surge at the same time. Both of these stories are true, but what changed is the bottom rung of the ladder. The old way in would be this: get hired as a junior, spend 6 months doing these small, simple, repetitive tasks, and slowly level up. But those tasks, the bug tickets, the boilerplate, the simple features, those are the ones that AI handles best now. So companies started getting nervous about paying someone to learn on the job when a senior with an AI assistant can do that work directly. With the new state of things, you no longer get to be junior for very long. The market expects you to slot in closer to mid-level almost from day one. While this does sound pretty brutal, it's actually the whole strategy for this video. Everything I'm about to show you is about getting you to be useful on day one faster than the people that you're competing with against. Stage 1 is the boring foundational stuff, and I need you to not skip it because everyone else is trying to skip it. Start by picking one language and actually go deep. For example, choose Python if you're aiming anywhere near AI, data, or backend, TypeScript if you want to build things people can see, and click. One language used until you find it really boring beats 5 languages you only half know. And now with AI, knowing lots of different languages, even well, is less of an advantage. Then get very comfortable with the fundamentals underneath the language. How data structures actually behave, how the internet sends a request and gets a response, how a database stores and finds things, and how Git lets a team work on the same code without setting it on fire. None of this is particularly glamorous, but all of it shows up in interviews and on the job every single week. Here's the pitfall I want you to avoid. People binge tutorials for months and feel productive, but tutorials are basically a treadmill. You are moving, but you're not really getting anywhere because you never hit a real problem the tutorial didn't already solve for you. So here's my rule. Within your first week of learning something, build something tiny and broken with it. For example, a script, a page, anything. Learn the next concept only when your own project demands it. That's how knowledge actually sticks because your brain only keeps what it had to fight to learn. Stage 2 is to use AI like a thinking companion, not a cheat sheet. This is a stage that did not exist when I graduated and started as a new grad software engineer, and it's now the single biggest separator behind the people who get hired and the people who don't. So what this means is that you actually have to learn to work with AI. Engineers who can multiply their output with tools like Copilot, Cursor, and Claude are the ones getting picked, and people with multiple AI skills on their resume are earning a documented premium of over 40% compared to those without. This is not optional anymore, but rather the new literacy. But even if you know that you should use AI, there's a wrong way to use it that will definitely crush your career. For example, if you let AI write code that you don't understand and just paste it in when it works, you are building and understanding nothing. You're outsourcing the exact skill you're supposed to be developing, and an interviewer will expose this when asking you to explain your projects. So here's how I'd use it instead. Treat AI like a brilliant, slightly overconfident intern. Let it draft. Then you review every line like you're the senior engineer responsible for it. For example, understand why it chose an approach, make it explain the trade-offs, when it's wrong, and it will be wrong. Figuring out why it's wrong is where your real skill gets built. The skills companies actually want in 2026 isn't can you write code, but it's can you direct AI to write code and catch it when it lies to you. That's judgment, and that's something that AI cannot hand to you. Okay, let's move on to stage 3. This is where I said most people get stuck, and here's why. Everyone builds the same portfolio. For example, a to-do app, a weather app, a clone of something. And in 2026, these projects aren't cutting it anymore because they're the exact same things that AI can generate in a single prompt. If your hiring manager can recreate your entire portfolio in an afternoon, your portfolio is not proof of anything. What employers want now is evidence you can take a vague problem and turn it into a working system. So build fewer projects will make them more real. So for example, one project that solved an actual annoyance in your own life, that handles real data, that you deployed so a stranger can use it. That one project is worth more than 10 tutorials. And specifically, build something that uses AI as a component, not just AI as your helper. What that means is you can wire up a real language model to do something useful. For example, build a tool that retrieves information and answers questions about it. Companies are desperate for people who've actually connected this AI infra piece together because that's the work they're hiring for. You don't need it to be impressive to the whole internet, but you do need it to be real enough that you can talk about a decision you made and a problem you hit, because that's stage 4. Stage 4 is proving that you can think and code like a senior software engineer in interviews. Yes, you still need data structures and algorithms. I know people online keep on declaring that LeetCode is dead, but it is not dead, at least not for now. For a lot of companies, even ones that have AI interviews, it's still the first filter. So learn the patterns, not 500 random problems, until you can recognize what a question is really asking for. Get comfortable enough that you can think out loud while you solve, because that's what they're actually grading. But the second half of the interview is where newer engineers struggle, and that's system design. The market is rewarding people who can think about systems, not just functions. You don't need to define Netflix, but you need to be able to walk through one real project that you built in stage 3 and explain why you made each design choice. Why that database? Why that structure? What you'd do if 1,000 times more people showed up to use the feature tomorrow. And furthermore, you have to talk about your work in terms of impact, not just features. So you have to tell them what problem it solved and for whom. The engineers who get hired in this market are not just the ones who can write good code, but they're the ones who can explain why their work mattered to a human being who doesn't write code. That's the senior level skill, and you can show it on day 1. And finally, stage 5 is the one that people think about last when they should actually do it constantly, actually getting in front of humans. Cold applications barely work anymore. Uploading your resume to 100 job boards and waiting is the slowest, lowest odds version of this. The roles are real, but the door is a person, not a form, and especially with AI making it so much easier to mass apply to listings, your application will likely get buried under hundreds of others if you're applying to the exact same positions that everyone else wants to get. So you got to do the unglamorous things that actually work. For example, apply to companies that no one's heard of, the ones getting 50 applicants instead of 5,000. Contribute to an open source project and let your work be the introduction. And when you do apply, apply fast, because timing really matters more than people think. And definitely keep track of it all. For example, just have a simple spreadsheet where you applied, who you talked to, what happened, and when you should follow up. You're going to face a lot of rejection. I applied to over 100 companies my first cycle and got less than 10 offers, but that's totally normal. Rejection isn't the obstacle to the process, but it is inherently in the process. So in conclusion, here's the whole path to how to become a software engineer in 2026. Nail your foundations, learn to direct AI instead of leaning on it, build real proof instead of a cookie cutter portfolio, prove you can think like a senior engineer, and get your profile in front of actual humans. Is this harder than it was in 2021? 100% yes. But the hiring door isn't completely closed, it just moved, and now you know exactly where it is. And that's all I have for you in this video. If this was helpful, hit that like button, hide this video, and subscribe for more software engineering, AI, and career development content. Thanks for watching, let's see you next one.